the hell, Beyonce?
What the hell, Beyonce? I need that background music.
No, same. I got mad stuff to put behind that.
Facts.
Let me tweet out.
Let's get it done. It is May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
I like that.
That's what they be saying. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Y'all actually lucky y'all got us this weekend because I didn't. This is actually Chantee's birthday weekend, y'all. So,
Come on.
Taurus season in full effect.
Big Taurus, not the little one. I'm playing around. I'm playing too much today.
Nah, it's perfectly fine. It's your weekend, so play as much as you want. Y'all know y'all like to.
What's up, y'all?
Feel like we haven't been on here in a minute, but y'all, a lot has been going on. A lot has been going on. Okay, we gonna get into it today. From our recap at the draft to WNBA preseason.
Been good games.
Yeah, I mean today was a blowout earlier with the Brazil national team, but the Indiana's fever, they making the statement, but we'll get into it, y'all.
Yeah.
As always, I'm gonna just say from the jump, please make sure y'all following us everywhere on social media. Subscribe, YouTube. Oh, we got a lot of places, but please just follow us. Thank you. And as always, welcome to the 21 Titles Weekly Recap. We are your host. I'm Wellness Britt. This is
Chantee and Brittany girl.
Big dog over here. Big lawyer, big attorney.
All right.
Okay. Together we make up 21 titles. We're really just here for the personal and professional development of student athletes. Just trying to guide them in the right way. In the ways we felt that we needed to be guided when we were student athletes. So we come on here every week to kind of break down the business of sports and what's going on in women's basketball. We'll get into some NIL stuff today. We're talking about general managers. More have entered the scene, so we'll highlight that. Also talking about how WNBA preseason and college basketball have kind of meshed again. So we'll get into it. Let's start off with our recap, I guess.
I didn't realize. Yes, let's get into our recap. So, and the recap we're talking about is the draft. So, like Brittany mentioned, this is our first time that we had we got to go to the draft.
Right.
Yeah. And it was a really dope experience. I'm trying to think.
Here we are season, so y'all see by our smiles, we were definitely hype.
We was hype.
To be there.
Yeah, I was running a little bit late. I'm not gonna lie, I was supposed to meet DA, I think at 12.
Oh, life is life, man. You had to get into athlete mode.
Yo, I had to run to make it on time to get to the walkthrough, so I could see like just all the spaces that we as media could like be in. And they had the venue this year was at the Shed, which was deep downtown. Can't remember exactly where the Shed is at, but it's pretty deep.
It's down by Hudson Yards, right?
Yeah. Right. So just meeting people, off Twitter that we just interact with or we've seen like in person was fire. Everybody was really friendly. I'm gonna be honest. Um, what else?
Uh,
Skip through everything, but like it was just a fun time. Like everybody was really friendly. We met. First of all, the OGs of the game were so easy to just go up to and speak to. Like
yeah,
they were acting sedity or funny or acting like please don't talk to me. They all were very welcoming and very kind, willing to have a conversation, walking amongst everybody else. Literally was passing people in passing. Um,
it
what
was.
else?
Uh, it was nice to just be in that atmosphere. Like we both put out recaps on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but to kind of like this was a full circle moment for me because I did not get drafted. Again, you'll probably hear that in the recap. But I was a WNBA prospect in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had aspirations to get drafted, but I didn't. Um, and this was definitely a great moment to see some of the girls, just live out their dream and get drafted. Obviously some people got their heart broken like I did this night, but that makes for a more like just resilient story if you ask me when it's all said and done and you look down the line. I guess my biggest inspiration has actually been one of my former teammates, Erica Wheeler. She went undrafted and then I believe, was it 2021? She won the WNBA All-Star MVP. So, like, if you just continue to be consistent and grind, you can figure it out and you can stick somewhere. So, Erica's about to, what is this, her 10th year, I believe, going into her 10th year.
That went fast.
Yeah, we're very fast. And she's playing with the Seattle Storm now. So shout out to E, just for being resilient and continuing to, you know, hoop. But I had a wonderful time. The food was pretty good. I'll say that I had some stuff that wasn't good, but I'll give y'all a pass. I'll give y'all a pass. I know I should have took some of them more blondies home. Just stash
Yeah,
some.
Brittany's a food critic, y'all. So that was the thing. I don't know if you want to tell them what happened when you got food.
Oh, my incident.
I mean, I wasn't there, so you want to tell
Oh,
the
let me
people
just
what
tell y'all,
happened.
I had an embarrassing moment at the. It's crazy. The chair broke, y'all. The chair broke while I was eating food. Fell down in front of everybody. I had the staff talking about, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I should have did like Ezel. My neck and my back.
You should have. I was in the other room, like, yo, why is Brittany like,
I know
where
we were
is she
taking
at?
mad
You
long.
and DA, I'm like, where are they at? They about to. I think Kathy was about to come in to
Right, we
talk.
about to we
I'm
about to give
like,
opening remarks.
I was not expecting to hear that story when I came in there. So, um, that was crazy. Um, what else happened?
What else crazy
Oh,
happened?
I met somebody with my same name.
Yes, Chantee met her doppelganger, which
I
is
did,
crazy.
which is crazy. I never met somebody with my last name specifically, because it's not a common last name.
Yes.
But the fact that this young lady had my first and my last name was crazy. We had our media passes on, as you can see in the photo. Everybody that's part of media had their media passes on.
Yes.
So I'm talking to somebody outside and I feel somebody like burning my face off.
Yeah, yeah.
And after I'm done talking, I turn and the young lady's like, Chantee? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, that's my name. I was like, oh, so you're like, I'm thinking just the first name.
Yeah.
And she's like, Hallett? I'm like, yeah. She's like, that's my last name too. And immediately I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
She's also from the Bronx.
Right.
Her boyfriend's name is the same, has the same name as my brother.
It was just a lot of kind of just coincidences that was
A
happening. Like,
lot of consistencies. So we
yeah,
just started calling each other cousin. Every time I seen her throughout the draft,
yeah,
we literally was like, "What's up, cousin? Hey, cousin." So that was something else. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, no, all the draftees were really nice and personable too. Um, Madison Scott
yeah,
was like one of those major people, I think, for both of us that night. She was just so, when she came to talk to the media, first of all, she was so like just a humble spirit, ready to learn. You could tell she's like ready to learn for real.
hmm,
Like she's not just saying it. She's ready to work and she's ready to learn. Um, and just so personable. Um,
yeah,
gave us hugs at the end of the night.
yeah. That was
Um,
the fact that we was getting hugs was crazy. Like,
don't know these, they don't know us, we don't know them, but just it was just real good energy, and you could tell on both sides it was very authentic. So I think that's why
yeah,
those things were happening. Even your interaction with Haley Van Liff, very, very, very genuine interaction.
yeah, yeah. That was crazy.
Very genuine interaction.
It was. It was. I mean, I was, I was taken aback when she asked me for a hug. I was like, oh, okay, it's pretty fire. We just had a short exchange. You know, I just kind of we had just a nice moment, and we had a few of those during the night. Um, we captured a few moments that kind of went semi-viral on Twitter. Uh, when Niele Ivy was hugging Sonia Citron, which she's been doing fantabulous, by the way, in preseason. And then we had the Caitlin Chen and Gino moment. So that was pretty fire to see those moments in real time. Um, what else was pretty stellar about the WNBA draft? I thought the people in the production on the production team were part of the security at first.
I remember what it is. Dej. Can't remember the last one, but shouts
Yeah,
to y'all. They was hella cool too.
and they were doing a fantastic job. Just kind of uh, giving direction in the room with the
Mm-hmm.
lights and all of that, because that stuff can get kind of confusing. But yeah, we had a solid night, and then what happened? We ended the night off at Empanada Mama. Y'all, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Before I got on that train to go home, because I let y'all know they didn't give us no accommodations for parking, so I wasn't trying to pay $100 to park my car downtown, because it definitely was gonna cost that much. So we took the more economical route and took public transportation. But dog, before I got on that train, Chantee and I went to get some empanadas. Fuego, okay? Y'all need to go to Empanada Mama and Hell's Kitchen.
Nah, they were mad good. It was a good night. And then we saw Coach Yo before going to go
Yeah,
get the empanadas.
yeah. We definitely saw Coach Yo dapped her up for sure.
She was mad cool too. So it was a dope experience. Shout out to the 9450 for just giving us the opportunity to go and to cover it. And make sure you watch our recaps on our social media. And yeah, I think that's a fitting intro to everything because the WNBA season is back.
Yeah,
I feel like that went so fast.
it sure did. But like just seeing this timeline is just too fast for me again. Like from the draft to preseason to the regular season, like
Ain't no
training
time.
camp is just too much. It's too fast. It's too fast.
It's no time.
Whew.
It's no time, but we're happy that it's here. And um, before we get into that, we just want to send thoughts and prayers to Sanaya Rivers,
Yeah,
because it was announced that her mother passed away. Her mother was in attendance at the draft, and just thoughts and prayers. We know that it's a difficult time
yeah,
um, to just experience like one of the highest moments of your just life, and then the lowest moments of your life in the span of a few weeks.
yeah.
So thoughts and prayers to her and her family at this time. Um, and I also wanted to give a shout out to the rookies because the game started on Friday. So we had the Aces versus the Wings. And then we also had Chicago versus Brazil. And I know did you just crack your fingers?
Yeah, that was my
Oh
thought.
my, I'm not
I
going to
know it's
introduce the people to, yeah, I'm going to tell the people about that another time. Anyway, the Aces, they look great. Chelsea Gray, she was killing in her rival.
okay. Mm-hmm.
And knowing that she still is remaining healthy, she's still on a tear. Um, and she looks good. It's just good to see her healthy playing
Yeah. I
in the
mean,
league.
she's carrying over from what she did at Unrivaled, so it's just good to see her
Mm-hmm.
like in her rhythm and flow.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, she ended with 13 points, 3 assists. Jackie Young was also on a tear. She too was injured during Unrivaled. Many of us was wondering why she was
yes,
playing. But she looked great yesterday. She ended with 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists. Asia Wilson, still a killer. Still a killer. Had 19.7 rebounds. Jewel Lloyd, 10 points yesterday. But Aaliyah Nye,
yeah.
yo,
Oh,
like that.
that's another moment from the draft that I forgot about. We had another moment, but I'm gonna just say this: we met the SID for Alabama athletics, so
Which is another funny story, but we'll tell it a different time.
we'll tell that another time.
Yeah, yeah.
But like Aaliyah Nye
She's like that.
from Alabama, she got everybody like this.
Yeah, she
Okay,
was like that.
girl.
She was like that. Well, she is like that. Um, and I've seen a lot of tweets talking about basically she's gonna make the roster, and at this point, she should make the roster. She's a great addition. They needed a shooter.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
she off the bench yesterday. She had 17 points. I'm like, nah, she's shooting. She's shooting
yeah.
that. Hey, I was texting you.
In 22 minutes, right?
Yeah, 5 for 8 from the three.
What? She was looking like me out there.
That's why I was texting you. Like, nah, she's a shooter. She's a
Yo,
shooter. She's a shooter.
I love that. I love that. And she's big too. It's not like
Yeah, she is.
she's big. So I'm looking forward to seeing her develop as a two-way player because she can also like be dominant on the defensive end because of how big she is. Like I like that.
Yeah, it was just good to see. It was also good to see Liz Kitley out there. Obviously, she's coming back from being injured, tearing her ACL. So seeing her run up and
Yeah.
down the court was good. But yeah, Aces look good. The Aces won yesterday, 112-78. On the Dallas side, Paige Beckers, she looked comfortable out there too. All the rookies, honestly, have been looking really comfortable.
Yeah.
They don't look scared. They don't look nervous. They just going out there trying to make the final cut. That's it. Like they doing all that they can to make the final cut. And so Paige, she started yesterday. She ended with 10 points, 4 rebounds, shot 4 for 7 from the floor. Your girl, Maddie Seagrass, again, she came off the bench, but she too was injured. I think she
Mhm.
had a hand injury last season or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So it was also good to see her back on the floor. She ended up with 11 points in 15 minutes. But JJ Quinnery,
Yeah.
dog, again, looking mad comfortable out there.
Yeah.
That didn't look like her first time, her first rodeo. And she was playing both ends of the floor.
Yeah. We coming
Yeah,
in ready.
both ends of the floor. I
Y'all
was
got
just,
we
I
got
was happy laughing yesterday.
yeah.
Like for most of the rookies, I was just in my bed happy laughing because I'm like, y'all coming in and doing what y'all need to do.
I can't wait to do like the first like power rankings for the rookies during the first week just to see who pans out because like like last year it's always gonna be like people gonna fizzle out because something happens right from injuries right we seen Cameron Brink go down last year um but this rookie class they looking to come in and contribute like they not with the oh I'm here humbly and I'm here I'm happy to make the team. Nah, they like I'm here and I'm gonna be a contributor to the team. Usually it takes a little bit for them to translate,
Mm-hmm.
but between Sonia and Quinterly and
Yo,
I, like to be honest, people not wasn't even looking for Nye in the draft. Like
no,
nobody talking about her. Nobody really talking about Quinterly.
no, they weren't.
So like to see the underrated, like even Sonia Citron, I feel like was kind of like being overshadowed, like just but girl is a hooper, okay? Like
Definitely was hooping yesterday.
love
We
it.
can get into that, but shouts to JJ. She finished with 16 points in 13 minutes. She shot for 7 for 10 from the floor. And then Isaiah James, Zaza. Okay.
Zaza, come
10
on,
points, three
Zaza.
assists in 16 minutes. Yeah, they was just hooping yesterday. They was hooping. I have nothing else to say. I was excited to see them look so comfortable again. I know I just said that, but that transition, like you just mentioned, to see them like just, for lack of better words, just falling in line and
Yeah,
just focus on making the roster.
yeah.
Here comes Da talking trash. That's so nasty, yo. And we were talking about you about the. We did a brief recap of the draft,
Yes.
so you missed that. But You got to stop hating. Anyway, we're gonna move on to Brazil in the Chicago Sky. Um, I mean, we were going to talk about it later, but you kind of hinted, talked about it briefly earlier about how the WNBA is just like bridging the gap between the professionals, and then the collegiate athletes, and um, they're taking like their franchise players and are going back to where their franchise players came from, where they hooped in college, and are bringing the preseason games there, which has been cool because again, it does bridge that gap, and for individuals that may not be able to make it to WNBA games,
Right.
they're able to do that now. um, and it seemed like, and you also have to keep in mind that universities, like what we're in May 4th, so many of these universities are about to hold commencement, graduations. People are not on campus like that. So to see a more than decent crowd yesterday, and then also we're gonna get to Iowa and the Fever today, but to see people really coming out to universities to watch these games is also very dope and also very telling. Like, people are looking forward to watching women's basketball. Um, and so yeah, it was a nice crowd yesterday with Brazil, um, and the Chicago Sky, and I miss Kennedy Carter out there. I'm not gonna lie. I texted you saying that. I just miss Kennedy Carter. There's things she obviously still needs to work on personally, but as far as hooping, I miss her style of play. Um, but yeah, Angel looked great. I see that. I will say, granted, it's just the first game and it's preseason, but we see a lot of the developments we saw in Unrivaled kind of sprinkling in very early on, which is good to see. I saw her trying to gain her footing and not just dribble just to dribble under the basket before um
Good.
shooting a layup, just gathering herself before doing it, like little stuff like that. I saw last night. Pushing the ball in transition, looking confidently while doing it, and then making a great pass. Seen that last night. Again, we saw a lot of that in Unrivaled. We saw some of that last season. It just looked a little bit better last night. um, so I wanted to give a shout out to Angel Reese. She finished with 15 points, 10 rebounds last night. Shot 4 for 7 from the field. Camila Cardoso also looked great. If you don't know, she played on the Brazil national team. So again, just bridging the gap, and I love to see it. So yeah, and then Kia Nurse also had a great game yesterday. She had 11 points, shot 4 for 8 from the field. Um, So yeah, definitely looking forward to the continuation of the development between Angel Reese and Camilo Cardoso specifically. Um, but yeah, Chicago Sky won last night, 89-62. Were you able to watch that game on replay? Oh, she talking to the kids. Look at Ray. Look at Ray. Ray. And Baby D. Yes, and Baby D. um Anyway, we're gonna move on while Brittany attends to them kids. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the Washington Mystics and the Indiana Fever, um, which went into overtime yesterday. It was a good game. It was 79-74 Indiana. Um, who played well yesterday? I want to give a shout out to Kiki Iriafin because she did not play scared yesterday. She had quite a few run-ins with Sophie Cunningham yesterday, and she just laughed it off. But on the flip side of that, Sophie Cunningham did have a great game yesterday. She ended with 21 points and shot 6 for 11 from the field, 8 rebounds. So she had herself a game. Also, wanted to give a shout out to Michaela Timpson. She did well today too. And I love the fact that they kept giving her shout outs, like the broadcasters were, and they were talking about just how Coach White was just speaking so highly of her, and her potential. It definitely seems like she's probably going to stay on the roster. So um, that was a great sign. Natasha Howard yesterday had a great game. She ended up with 11 points, 8 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell, 12 points from the field. 12 points for the night. Um, who else had a great game? Lexi Hall, 13 points. Caitlin Clark did not play yesterday. And we definitely see the difference between her not playing yesterday and her playing today. Just the momentum of the game, the excitement, and everything else in comparison to today. It was like night and day between the two games. Um, for what? Oh, you're back for Washington Mystics. Sonia Citron. Again, the rookies are showing out. She looked hella comfortable out there as well. She ended with 15 points, shot 5 for 6 from the field, shot 2 for 3 from the three. Brittany Sykes had a great game, 18 points. Stephanie Dolson also had 10 points. Um, Still sad about I mean, I'm skipping ahead, but to the injury report with Georgia Amore. Um, was definitely looking forward to seeing her out there. Stephanie Dolson definitely had really, really kind things to say about Georgia Amore. If you don't know, Georgia tore her ACL. It was announced last week or the week before that.
Yeah.
Um, but Dolson just was like, she doesn't play like a rookie. Um, the leadership, her leadership characteristic was on 10. It was beaming. Her confidence was extremely high. She also said that. And all she kept saying is that she does not play like a rookie. And I think that, again, lends to what we were just talking about. Like, many of these rookies are just coming in focused. They don't look like they. And again, it's very early, right? But they're not coming out looking scared. They look confident. Um, I hope Georgia Amore gets better quickly. And but yeah, um, that's the recap of yesterday's games. Mystics and the Fever. That's what I just covered.
Yeah. I seen so just talking about the transition from like, college to the WNBA, I
Mm-hmm.
seen Kiki Ariafin, she posted something on Instagram like, I can't believe I almost fouled out my
I
first
saw
game.
that.
And you know what's so crazy? Like, to be honest, like that fouling because you got to adjust to the speed. That's a real thing. Like when
Yes.
I got to high school and I had my first game, definitely almost fouled out. And then the same is true for my first game in college. Like, was fouling left and right.
But that's what happened with Brink, Cameron Brink. Like she too. I mean, but granted, she was fouling for real in college. So like it just continued. But like, yeah, no, you're right. That is something that I feel like a lot of players talk about. And
Yeah,
I feel like didn't Caitlin Clark mention something like that in her rookie season?
I believe so.
She used to get in foul trouble all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
speed of the game is just faster. The physicality is heightened. It's different. So
Nah, it's a little curve. It's a little curve. But you figure it out. But that made me just kind of reminisce. So
he said, "Get Brazil hoops out of there."
Brazil hoops is infiltrating the U.S. I mean,
You
it's
got
it's
Ayla.
yeah.
I mean,
Ayla going to freaking um
South Carolina.
South Carolina, and then you got the other chick that's from Brazil that's going to UConn. So like,
Hmm.
it's here, Da. It's here, whether we want it or not. This is here.
um, I touched a little bit about the games. Obviously, there's a game going on right now that we're missing.
Mhm.
Connecticut versus Seattle. Make
Right.
sure that you're checking out that game. The score right now, 66-49, Seattle. And then, yeah, we had the Fever versus Brazil earlier. This is the first game for Caitlin Clark of this season. And they brought it back to Iowa, where she hooped at in college. And the people came out, it was sold out. I saw the tickets was going as high as like 440 or something like that. $440. Um, I saw her talking about how she was telling her teammates this is probably the loudest place you're ever gonna play in.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
and I heard, like during the game, they were asking Kelsey Mitchell questions, and she said just what I just said, and she was just like, "No, it's loud," and just I guess seeing Caitlin Clark in her element made her like a fan and made her appreciate the things in which she has done, um, just in her career. So Indiana, I know it's early, but they look great.
Yeah. I mean, and I know it's also just the Brazil national team, but and that's no shot at the Brazilian national team at all. I'm just saying they looking real youthful. They look youthful. So with youth, there is no experience. So usually that is held against you when you play against professional teams, if you want to say. But um, yeah, Indiana. I mean, when you got Caitlin Clark hitting a shot from the logo to get the crowd riled up in her home, like at her former college, at her former Dominion, that's pretty tough. The girl shot from half court, damn near. like, and this is I'm a former shooter, y'all. She's shooting from deep, yo. Like, you know how strong your legs gotta be?
That's what I'm like. I don't think people realize like how far that is,
Nah, she
and to
she done.
not like readjust your shot. Like she's
Yeah,
shooting how like she's keeping her form.
she's
Yeah,
shooting from 30 plus feet, bro.
yeah. She looked good today. She looked good today. Again, Indiana looked good. I know it's early, but I'm looking forward to just them continuing to grow and get to know each other on the floor. But they looked really comfortable, and they looked like a whole different team in comparison to yesterday evening.
Mm,
A different team. Um, they're gonna be exciting to watch and to keep your eye on. Um, but yeah, no, I mean they got so many offensive threats now too. Um, Natasha Howard, she ended with 10 points, 5 rebounds. Aaliyah Boston had 11.7 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell, 17 points. Caitlin Clark, 16 points. Just real balanced scoring this year. They did well. I was about to say the transfer portal because the transfer portal is on my head, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and in the
free
in
agency. Yeah,
free agency,
yeah.
they came up. They did what they needed to do. They filled a lot of holes that needed to be filled, and shouts to Dewana Bonner. I want to give a shout out to Dewana Bonner, okay? Because my birthday was yesterday. Dewana's older than us, right? Yeah, Dewana's older or around the same. And
Yeah,
she's still
still
out there
hoping. Yeah,
hooping.
yeah, tough,
She's out there
tough.
hooping. So, shouts to Dewana Bonner. She looked
Yeah,
great out there, too.
I gotta at some point get the footage from when we played her in college in the NCAA tournament my junior year. Yeah, she's a year older than us. Was it? Yeah,
Still hooping. Still
still.
looks great. Now she a vet. She talked about that.
Yeah,
Just how, they all listen. She's like, yeah, like they all pay attention when I speak. Bright eye, bushy tail. They want to learn, and I'm trying to just, give them game as, a champion, as and just all the experience that I have. So it's just we're just seeing the changing of the guard. It's just very interesting to see and to watch. But nah, Indiana, they look good. They look good. That's all I got for that game. Indiana beat Brazil 108-44 this afternoon. Um, Anything else you want to add? Because that's really it. I mean, there's more games on the way. If you don't have WNBA League Pass, um, they are allowing everybody and anybody to watch the games from starting from Friday, this past Friday, all the way up to I think the 12th for free. So make sure you take advantage of it. And if you know somebody that does not have League Pass and does not watch the W or watch women's basketball, let them know that it's free right now. Like they can watch it.
yeah.
Um, just get more people involved and wanting to watch. So
Yeah, I need to make sure all the games is on the league pass though. I'm gonna tell you that because yeah, y'all lucky they ain't let us
yo,
ask that question.
yo, yeah, that's what I was about to say because I was definitely about to ask Kathy. They
Yeah,
was hating with the mic, but
it was.
one of the questions I was about to ask Kathy was about scheduling.
Yeah,
Letting her know a lot of people was upset about scheduling last year, wanting to watch the games, but they on all at the same time. Like, how are we about to stagger the game? Like, what can we expect for the season?
yeah.
Um, but we'll see how it goes. We shall see.
We will.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yep. Moving on. Moving on. Um, Asia Wilson. Shouts to let me tell you something. Shouts to Nike. They've been doing a hell of a job with the rollout
They
from start
have.
to finish. From start to finish.
Yeah,
And shouts to Asia because like what I've noticed, not and I'm not talking about Asia right now. I'm talking about just athletes and celebrities and those with big names. They'll get a team to do the rollout and then you'll realize they're not as connected to their own product as they should be because they
right.
have their team doing everything. You
Mm-hmm.
know when I often see that too with writers.
Mm.
With writers because sometimes because it's a lot, you're writing your book,
Yeah,
you gotta get your book published, and then you gotta worry about marketing and selling, and sometimes you just see them at like the sign, like the book signings, but sometimes they get lost in all of those things. So to watch Asia Wilson from several months ago, actually more than several months ago, just be intentional about how she rolled out
yeah,
this sneaker and her logo. Like everything just meshes very well from the logo. First we had the book, then we had the logo, then we had the logo explanation,
right.
then we saw her on the jet, then we had the controversy about the sneaker because Caitlin Clark got her deal. Everybody up in arms.
Mm-hmm.
She's chilling in the background, like, hold up, y'all. Like, not even set, but
Yeah.
keeping it cool, everybody going hard. While the whole time she knows I got a sneaker coming. Then
Facts.
she had the URL. Of course, I got a sneaker.com. Like
Mhm.
all that stuff. Then she rolled out the shirts. Then we saw like it's just everything was done very intentionally. It's truly a masterclass. And we finally, well, her sneaker is dropping on the 6th, May 6th, so in 2 days. Um, and we saw that she rolled out a new commercial.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Angel Wilson's on top, top, top. Can't take her spot, spot, spot. She's a real one, through, through, through. Always does what she'll do, do, do. Oh my goodness, this is a great feeling. She won MVP, P, P, 1, 2, and 3, 3, 3. Her game is T, T, T. She made history, free, free. From the millions of rap, rap, rap. All buckets, no cap, cap, cap. They said she wasn't enough. So she did it for us, us, us. Yeah, if you talk smack, 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 she's gonna clap back, back, back.
You know better than that.
Her drip so weak, it can't be beat, beat, beat. She say one is clear, clear, clear. Period. Cause it's a top tier, tier, tier. Angel Wilson's on top, top, top. Can't take her spot, spot, spot.
Fire. Again, and even that is intentional. It's like all
Yeah.
black girls all over the world unite. That's what it that's what it gives.
Yeah.
It gives nostalgia. You got the bobos like we was talking about, the barrettes.
Yeah.
You got the hand games. You got cheerleading, and then I saw a tweet saying like that one scene where there's a girl sitting in the church and you see two portraits. Those are her paternal grandparents, and just the connection she has with South Carolina. Like again, just very intentional.
Yeah, I want to know what restaurant that is that Dawn's at because they showed the little menu and she's walking.
South Carolina.
So what restaurant is that? And do they have any veggie plates?
Oh my!
Okay, I want to
It
know.
has to be in South. Everything in there, I think, is What's up, Spin Doc? Um,
What up?
I think everything in there is just real intentional and um showcasing her blackness and um just all her achievements and then her love for where she's from. Um that's how you do it.
That's what.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. And then today she released another commercial. Um and come to find out one of the Obama daughters freaking directed it.
Produced. Yeah.
Yeah, again, just fire. Um
They doing right by her. That's all I know. They
they
do.
doing right and they're listening.
Yes.
They're listening to
Yes.
her suggestions,
They are.
which we
They
really see as
executing
well.
this. They executing this the right way. Like, thank
Top
you,
to bottom.
y'all.
Good
For,
job, Nike.
yeah. Good job.
That's a good job. I ain't got nothing bad to say about it.
It is. It is a good job. I'll agree. And y'all need to do that for everybody, but y'all don't execute on this level for everybody and every.
They don't, but again, I don't want to give too much flack to Nike because while yes, I'm sure sometimes it's their fault. Other times, I really think you got some people that just be like, handle it.
No,
Call me when we gotta shoot. Call
you
me when I gotta show up.
you correct. You correct. You correct. And I could definitely echo the sentiments that you said about her being engaged with the campaign and it it being shown through the campaign. Like this is her. Like this is her authenticity. Like we've seen it several times over, and we're continuing to see it. This is me. So get with it, or I'm gonna run your ass over. That's
Basically, that's really what the energy is. But I'm so excited. I saw the blue joints, the blue colorway.
yeah. And you not even like a blue like.
Who am I?
That's what I'm saying. Like blue hues for you? Oh,
That's not really my bag, but that joint, that
yeah,
that colorway is tough.
fire,
That
fire.
colorway is tough. So yeah, May 6th. I think they're gonna be releasing them in sneakers, in the store sneakers. Make sure you cop. Um, I'm sure they're gonna sell out right away.
Yeah, they probably are.
As they should. Them joints is fire. So shouts to Asia Wilson. Um before we continue to move into WNBA business news. I did I didn't watch the whole 3-on-3. USA 3-on-3.
Mm-hmm.
Um but I saw that South Carolina, Chloe Kids and the rest of the South Carolina girls played against Malaysia. I don't know.
Uh,
Yeah.
was there any foul play?
No, I didn't see it. I just thought I thought it was an interesting matchup, and shouts to Lauren and Nick and them over there because they was talking about London Jones transferring, from UCLA to USC, and I just again
Mm-hmm.
just seeing the clips of Malaysia. First of all, we wish Malaysia well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm jumping the gun because we're not even on college news. But we wish Malaysia well. It's just always interesting to see just what the energy is like when you go against your old teammates. I want to make sure I watch that 3-on-3 game back if I can, if I can find a way to do it. Because I want to see how they played her, what the energy was like. Now that she's heading to LSU, so if any of y'all watched it, let us know your thoughts. Again, we didn't get a chance to watch today's games, but I'm very interested in knowing how that went. Um, your face. But moving on. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. This is how we feel.
Happy.
I know,
She
of
put
course.
she put the purple and yellow. She put the purple and yellow hearts.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch season 2 of Full Court Press.
But I did see too, because this is how I know that the mainstream media, y'all crazy and y'all selective. So I have not seen anybody talk about how we've seen the ladies from Full Court Press to On Tamron Hall. I have not seen anybody speak about this. They had an entire segment on these women, Hannah Flauget and Kiki Ariafa. I was watching this. Shout out to my grandmother-in-law coming to the house this week and get me to watch Tamron Hall, because any other time, I'm not watching that. But look at that. It just so happens that afternoon, I'm watching, and the young ladies are on, all talking about their stories, okay? And then they also did a segment with Elle Duncan, which was pretty fire. Okay, and I have not seen anybody talk about that. Where y'all at? Y'all not gonna put the show on Blast Wire.
I didn't know that, and I gotta watch Full Court Press.
Yeah, I gotta watch it too. But I was very happy to see the young ladies get a chance to talk to Tamron. It was a delightful surprise to see them. Seriously, they talked about their their majors, right? So Kiki Ariafin, she's smart, bro. She 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 got that too. Beauty and the brains. Okay? Mechanical engineering. She has a degree in mechanical engineering from Stanford and then has a master's in business from USC. That's crazy. Okay? And then Hannah Hidalgo is majoring in theater, TV, and film because she said that she would like to broadcast at some point in her after her career is
I
done.
can see her acting.
I could definitely see Hannah acting because she's intense.
She's intense and very theatrical and
Mm,
animated, so
yeah,
I can see her acting.
that's a
If
fact.
she ever thought about doing that.
Yeah, and then Flaugier was just talking about she said that her major is interdisciplinary studies. And she's like, really, I'm business all day. I'm learning about business because I'm a boss. You feel me? So it was a real great conversation. Like I really enjoyed that. So I just had to shout that out. Um, yeah.
All right. I gotta check it out and I will circle back with Jody for the full court press season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank
But
you
we
for
could,
that prompt, Joy.
yeah, thank you. But moving further into just like the business of the WNBA, which we already talked about, which is just the bridging of the gap between the WNBA and just college basketball. And this really started as a trend last year when the Las Vegas Aces played Puerto Rico.
Right.
Um, and that game was hosted in South Carolina due to Asia Wilson's, alma mater being South Carolina. Um, but what also like kind of made this a trend is if y'all remember last year, during the preseason, we had the Chicago Sky versus the Minnesota Lynx, and that game was supposed to be broadcasted nationally, and it wasn't. It never
Yeah.
showed up.
Yes. Thank you for the reminder, Chantee.
It never came up. And shouts to that fan on
Yes.
Twitter. She decided to take her phone out
Yeah.
and stream the entire game on her phone.
Yeah.
That garnered like 2 million views. Yeah. Um
Thousands of people on at once.
I was
Thousands.
one of them.
Yes.
I was
Hundreds of
one of them.
thousands of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so again, just showing how hungry like the consumer was and continues to be to watch the game. Like
Yeah.
especially in preseason, you can't drop the ball there. So I will give a shout out and a hand clap to the W
Yeah.
for making the league pass, Jesus, free.
Yeah.
Like, because people want to see the games. Um, and again, in comparison to last year where they were dropping the ball, I'll give y'all a round of applause for that. Um, and yeah, there will be another game, um, preseason game that will also bridge the gap. We're gonna have the New York Liberty playing against the Toyota Antelopes of the Japan Basketball League. They're located obviously in Japan, but they're both teams are going to be playing in Oregon. Um, that's Sably and Sabrina's alma mater, so they're going to be bringing that there. But I like the trend. I think it's fire. Again, it just bridges the gap. Um, I'm pretty sure the W is able to pick up some new viewers and consumers because of this trend. Those are the numbers I want to see. I don't know if anybody like has a breakdown of that. I don't even know how they would get that data, but
Right.
um, I would love to see what consumers just watch like college hoops, but then happen to like either physically go to one of those games or like watch it on TV and then become a fan of the W, like a consumer of the W. So yeah, Shouts to the W for getting it right and continuing the trend. And make sure that you watch that the final preseason game that's going to be happening on May 12th, and that's between the Liberty um, and Toyota Antelopes of Japan Basketball League. So,
Okay, I like that. Have
hmm
y'all seen? I'm being messy. Yes, I'm being messy. Have y'all seen the clip of Hannah and Olivia
yes.
at the game? Yeah.
It's not being. It is what it is. They see, like people saw it. They videotaped it. It looked like it was a little staticky. I don't know.
It
We
was a
don't
little
know.
staticky.
But was it?
It was because Hannah was. You see Hannah's stance. Hannah's like,
What's up? What's good?
"What's up, yo, Hannah? I need to see you acting, dog."
Nah, Hannah can act. I know for a fact. I don't know if she'll ever see this, but I have a feeling that you can act
Yeah,
really well. But yeah,
and
that exchange.
that exchange was something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me say that. And
Mm-hmm.
now we seeing it. I done seen 5 different angles
Oh,
of
you did.
the exchange on Twitter.
All I saw was
If
the
y'all want the tea, y'all should get on Twitter because that's where you're gonna get it. That
yo.
like if you
And if
really
not anything else, funny memes or
yeah,
just funny tweets.
it's
You
it's
won't get it.
it's you gonna be laughing all the time. Okay, but yeah, the exchange was insane. Um, for people for two teammates for girls that have been teammates before. Okay, something happened there. Okay, something happened. All
Do
right.
you think that is still like ballsy, for lack of better words, for Olivia to show up to South Bend? Um,
I mean, yeah, like girl, you not from here no more.
I gotta put this back up there.
Yeah, it's um
If you don't know, if y'all don't know, Olivia Miles is going to TCU. I think everybody knows that, but
yeah.
just in case, she's going to TCU. So she was in South Bend yesterday, um, during the Aces uh, in Dallas game, because that's where they hooped at. They was back in Notre Dame. So yeah, that's where that exchange happened. We'll never know. I don't think we'll ever find out what happened, but that's peace. And yeah, yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to next season in
I need
college
the
hoops.
audio. I need the
I'm
audio.
I'm looking forward to college hoops next season. There was a lot of moving and shaking during the transfer portal. We'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. Um, but moving on, just to talk about CBA negotiations, um, that conversation is still being had. Um, but please know that the players have said that they're willing to sit at the table for as long as it takes. And if they gotta do if they don't play, they don't play. They also let that be known. Um,
I like that energy.
yeah, me too. I think that's the proper energy to have. Yo, first of all, Jody's funny. She said Twitter has some lip readers trying to decipher what they were saying. I saw that. I definitely saw that. Anyway, back to CBA negotiations. The director of the WNBPA mentioned that some of the priorities of the Players Association was to improve salaries, um, more accessible maternity benefits, a softer salary cap structure, and a potential increase in roster size. I
A
feel like all of those,
please, we need
yeah,
an increase in roster size
we do.
significantly.
I see a lot of people upset about Cheyenne Sellers. I see a
Yeah,
lot of people upset about a lot of cuts. Um, and yeah, there needs to be an increase in roster size. Um, I'm with Spendoc. I know I'm getting off the board still, but I would love for some of these players to be mic'd up next season.
yeah,
I'm with you.
yeah.
I'm with you, Spendoc.
Look, I think they doing it wrong. They trying to interview like for the WNBA. I hate when y'all interviewing the coaches on the sideline during the game. Like let
You
them.
ain't see them talk to the Brazil coach today? He was like, all right, bye.
Oh, is that why Lobo laughed so hard? What?
Yeah, he was like, bye.
Yeah, bye. Get off. I don't feel like talking to you no more.
She was cracking up.
She
Rebecca
was
was like real laughing, not fake laughing, not
like,
that. You know that.
no, that was a belly from the belly laugh. Okay, that was a big one.
Yeah,
But
no, but
yeah,
I'm
they
with
need to
Spendoc.
mic up the players. Stop miking up the coaches and stop interrupting them during the game. I hate that. It's like they trying to coach and y'all asking them questions. I would be so pissed.
They was trying to rush out like.
Yeah, I no me. I would act like I can't hear. I'm like I can't hear. I can't hear.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Okay, I gotta take this off. I can't hear you. Bye. I would do that. I wouldn't care.
See, anyway, that's a good suggestion, Spendoc, and we're with you. Um, back to CBA negotiations. What they're asking for, I think, should have been in the CBA. And I'm really hopeful that they're going to be able to get it done. Um, they've been very aggressive, according to the director of the WNBPA, in regards to just the terms that they're negotiating and discussing. And they're hopefully looking for the completion of the CBA by October 31st. And again, the players are making it clear that they're willing to sit at the table for as long as it takes. And even if there's a potential work stoppage, they willing to do that too. Um, they're just really looking forward to, these players getting paid the salary that reflects their true value on and off the floor. And the union is also seeking an equity based economic model in the WNBA that would guarantee player salaries improve as the league continues to grow, which I think makes the most sense. These women deserve to continue to take from the pot that they're giving to every year. Um, I don't know if people are aware, but in regards to the salary cap, when players are actually out on maternity leave, um, that also limits the hard salary cap, or is part of the salary cap, um, which I don't agree with, and I don't know why that is. Like it takes away from the team's salary cap space, and so they're fighting for that to be removed, um, which makes sense to me. And then also the WNBPA, they're emphasizing the need to codify charter travel. So obviously, we saw Kathy Engelbert announce last year that the players would be able to travel via chartered flights, but that's only good for the 2026 season. There's there hasn't been any conversations about anything after the 2026 season, which is why the WNBPA is trying to get that codified in the CBA. Um,
Hmm.
and I think that the support is really on the WNBPA side and the player side. You got players deciding to stay a fifth year or utilize their COVID year instead of, entering the draft, knowing that, the CBA negotiations are happening, salary, there may be a salary increase next year or next season. So, the the WNBA has to take that into consideration, and just knowing that these incoming players are also being strategic. And not only that, the things in which these players are asking for are doable. And I don't think it helps that we also watch on Rival do this seamlessly.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't help their case either. Now,
Right.
granted, the WNBA has more players, more teams, the operations are bigger, but it's doable. And so I hope that these women and the union continues to stand their ground. But I'm hopeful that the WNBA will see it the way in which everybody else sees it, and everybody gets on the same accord.
Facts. I think you said that eloquently.
Why, thank you. But I hope the WNBA really does what they need to do. Spendoc says owners need to see the CBA as a long-term investment in the product they put on the court, expand the league, increase roster size, give players higher percentage of equity, and increase pay now.
Yeah,
We agree.
absolutely. I mean,
It is a long-term
people be
investment.
lying when they say they want to invest in women's sports because y'all have the opportunity to. Clearly,
Brittany,
yeah,
we spoke to somebody,
yes, yes.
what,
Mm-hmm.
a week ago?
Yeah.
We spoke to somebody who works for the Washington Mystics organization. We
Mm-hmm.
sat down with her and had a regular conversation for about an hour. And I'm no longer talking about the Mystics organization. I'm talking about the WNBA as a whole. Like Brittany just said, there's a lot of people that work for the WNBA who do not care about women's sports. That's
Yeah.
just the truth of the matter. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't care how many shirts you buy that say everybody loves women's sports.
Right.
I don't care about none of that. Your actions, your actions have to align with your words. And I completely agree with Spendoc. If you want to show that you appreciate these players, do right by them. These things should have been in the CBA. But shouts to the supporters of the W, because this also is because of the supporters. Obviously, the players, the union, but
Yeah.
the supporters, like the people on Twitter, the people on social media, like they read those things.
Yeah.
They hear those things. You know, this should have happened a long time ago, but we're here now, and I think that yeah, the players are not. They're not taking no shorts no more. They're not taking no shorts. That's the end. They're not taking nothing. They're not taking nothing less than what they deserve. So I'm happy, and I want to see how this ends up. I mean, Kathy at the draft was making it seem like we're working with the WNBPA to
Yeah.
work. You better work with them because you will have no product. You
Right.
will have no product. Figure it out and do right. So shouts to the union and shouts to the players and shouts to the real supporters
Yeah.
of women's basketball and women's sports.
Yeah. We need the people with the resources to do stuff. Like I can't wait until the tables turn when the people who actually know what to do have the resources. Cause y'all been sitting on resources and ain't been doing anything. And that's what's so unsettling is that y'all have these resources and have not been utilizing them. So that just goes to show when the people who do get the resources, we got to show out because It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And
Mm-hmm.
also, too, another conversation that can be expanded and expounded on at another time. We need more basketball people in front office positions or in operations positions. More former players in managerial positions.
We've seen it with Unrivaled. We
Yeah,
covered that. Those players are in it. They've experienced it.
right.
They've played like they're in it. So that's why the product mirrors all the things in which they know they deserve. That should come automatically
Yeah,
because they've experienced that and they're still continuing to experience it. They are players, they're current players. And who better to have on your team than people that have those experiences so that they can come up with the best solutions possible for people that may come after them? Who better?
right.
Yeah,
It's
who better?
it's
Because a lot of people, you know, it's crazy. The first person that comes to mind is Altman from Chicago.
yeah, every time.
Or Alter, whatever, yeah, whatever his name is.
Hmm.
But
Michael.
yeah, you know, again, like that's just one example though. You're a property developer or you're a real estate developer. And Chicago doesn't have their own arena. And you were part of the ownership group for several years,
Yeah,
but then the product starts to heat up and you're like, oh yeah, let's do this now. What is the weakness for the players union in regards to the negotiations? I don't think they have many. I can't think of a weakness off the top of my head. Um because everything points to them getting what they want, from the examples again from players staying their fifth year to how we saw Unrival unfold to um the De'Erica Hamby situation. Like there's so many things that
yeah,
kind of points to their needing to be a revised and updated CBA, to people talking about just how low salaries are. I saw on Sports Business Journal and maybe ESPN and a couple of other social media platforms, they just, again, showcasing how much money a rookie contract looks like in the NBA in comparison to like a Paige Becker's rookie contract looks like this year. We like every year for the last like 3 to 4 years, we've been seeing similar like information and posts being created that literally pokes holes in this issue. So I don't think the players union has any weakness. I think they have all the power, and I think that the WNBA is going to have to concede. I don't see, and the numbers, the viewership is up. In the last 3 years, the viewership has continued to, I mean, not that viewership was an issue, but it has increased tremendously. Um, I think they got all the leverage.
yeah.
I can't think of a weakness right now.
Great question, Sven Doc. Thank you. All right.
But yeah, moving on. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about the injury report just with the torn ACL injury, you know.
Injury reports. I mean, isn't it so ridiculous that I wrote about ACL tears in January, and now like just how many people we've seen go down since then, right? From Juju going down in the Sweet 16 to seeing Georgia Amore go down, The other day, we just seen Katie Lou Samuelson reporting that she tore her ACL. Like, she's just getting back, basically from pregnancy not too long ago, like getting back into the swing of things. So, like, it is a trend that we're definitely keeping our eye on. Like, I just wanted to also bring this to the forefront. There was a study by that was funded by FIFA that basically is investigated whether hormonal fluctuations during menstrual cycles could contribute to ACL injuries in women's soccer. So after reading this article, like 3 big weights in soccer, women's professional soccer, went down from ACL tears. So, and it's been very visible, the injuries. Like, even seeing Damian Lillard rupture his Achilles the other day, in the game. These are things that are going to be increasing because just how the pace of the game is increasing, and just from me reading. So I'll just give some context. Like, I'm a certified holistic health coach. I'm always trying to figure out ways to maximize student athletes' ability and potential to perform. So back in November of 2024, after the WNBA season, we seen Nika Mule go down with an ACL tear. And that kind of put my brain on kind of like just alert, because first and foremost, like, she was part of the Seattle Storm and really didn't get a chance to play that much during the WNBA season. And then right after the season was over, she got ousted into the number 1 position as the point guard. And this was literally her first game overseas. And unfortunately, in the middle of the game, the injury happened, and she was balling, like playing very well before this happened. So that kind of put me on alert. Was it like the load, like what's going on? So that's when I just kind of started reading data, and it's already been documented that women, it's as high as 8 times, from 2 to 8 times more likely to suffer a knee career ending injury than our male counterparts, for like a number of reasons. And one of the reasons is hormonal fluctuations. They're saying, like, at certain points during our menstrual period, the laxity component in our ligaments falters a little bit during different cycles. And that just means that the ligaments in our knees kind of loose up a little bit more than men because of what's going on hormonally. So that's already a disadvantage and increasing our risk for injury, right? They also say that from landing techniques and mechanics, like, girls don't naturally land flat on their feet when they're trying to land. They even said in this article, like, when the landing for when girls come down from kicking the ball or like headbutting the ball, like that, a lot of injuries are occurring because of that. Like, you're going up and you're not landing properly coming down from doing that. So and then you got the Q angle, so the angle at which our knees kind of slightly turn inward. Essentially, our Q angle is a little bit greater than men's because of our hip angle also. So, like, anatomical difference. Like, there are so many things that are factors that are contributing to these injuries, and it's like we got to pay more attention because there are not too many studies that are focused just on women. A lot of it is for men, and that data. So I'm really interested to see how organizations kind of respond to what's going on right now. Like, what does that look like? Are we going to implement more um, knee injury prevention protocols, like more knee strengthening exercises? Like, what's going to be a response to the increase in major knee injuries? Because this is not going to slow down. It's going to increase. We're going to see more major knee injuries happening, and dare I say more Achilles ruptures too. So yeah, and then in part of that, this ain't this the first cut that the Valkyries made was the person that they actually drafted. So that was everybody was shocked. That was a definitely a shocker on Twitter. So to see Cheyenne Sellers get waived, uh, caused an uproar.
It did. A lot of people wondering if it was her knee injury,
Right.
and it wasn't. Um, Allegedly, she was tested. Her knee was tested and she was evaluated at UMD, and then also when she got to training camp, and said she was healthy, she was fine. Saw a couple of quotes saying, like, from their new head coach, that you got to choose the best 12, and essentially saying she wasn't. It's hard to choose.
Correct.
That's the what she said, and then I saw people talking about their roster and saying that Cheyenne was, is better than a lot of people on the roster, and I wish we had, like,
Footage.
yo,
I want to
that's
see
what I want to
tape.
see, because that's all I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see footage. Like, I wish we could see footage. Like, um,
Not facts.
because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, and
We don't
stranger
know.
things have happened. Like
Yeah, we don't know.
it's look, I've seen it with my own eyes. People that are supposed to be good and people that are underrated coming in and taking names and
I wish we could
raising
see.
eyebrows.
Yeah,
Like
I wish we could see. Like, I wish we
what?
could get more than clips, but I'm sure Cheyenne Sellers, she's gonna get back in the gym. She's gonna get better.
Yeah.
You never know. Somebody else may pick her up. We don't know how any of this may turn out. We saw what happened with Diamond Johnson. Shouts to Diamond Johnson, from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, but it goes back to what we just talked about with the CBA negotiations. Roster spot increases or roster increases are needed, because there's a lot of talent. I mean, Brittany started the pod or started this live letting y'all know she didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talent that, it's just not enough roster spots. Um,
Yeah.
so that's the push that needs to be made. We need more roster spots, but I'm sure Cheyenne will be fine. Um,
Yeah. And even if she, goes overseas, like go overseas and test your talents. Um, I'm happy to see that her knee is actually fine and she was cleared because
yeah,
she she injured her PCL in January or February when that was. And if you don't know, you got four ligaments in your knee. You got four. Okay, so the ACL is the one that we hear the most. Then you have your MCL, which is usually the other thing that gets injured when you do tear your ACL. Then you have your PCL, that's what Cheyenne sprained. And then you have your LCL. And then you have two meniscus on the inside and outside of your knee. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And the only reason I noticed because I had two teammates that tore their ACLs. And we were like, how? And then we figured that we had to figure out how do we strengthen this knee back up. Okay, so like it is imperative, parents, coaches, player development, please make sure y'all are making sure that y'all young ladies' legs are strong and have some type of prevention thing in place for them, because 2 to 8 times more likely is kind of scary to me.
I just
That's
feel like it's happening at a much higher rate.
yeah.
Like, yes, we've seen these things, but like
Everybody left and right.
everybody left and right, and it's been an increase.
Yeah, so I would say preventative measures are the best for that, and just making sure that you're keeping your legs strong for real. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that information.
Yeah,
Hopefully, somebody found that helpful. Um, well, moving on to like lighter news. I thought this was mad funny.
definitely.
Yo, yo, they LASIK is trolling
Yeah,
referees and
that's
umpires. They're
that's
they're they're trolling because they like, yo, the calls that y'all are making,
yeah, I can see.
y'all need
Mhm.
LASIK because there's no way y'all missing these calls.
Yeah,
I think that's funny. So like they're talking, yeah, obviously you see the umpire, but it's not just umpires, it's not just baseball. They're hitting everybody. Refs in the NBA, the WNBA, soccer, all types of just sports, they getting at umpires and referees
mm,
for bad calls. So like you'll have like people watching the game and will at LASIK um talking shit about the ref or the umpire. So but what's even more interesting is like this piece says on the screen, a lot of the umpires and refs are actually taking LASIK up on the offer of getting free LASIK. Um, so yeah, like LASIK is expensive. Right now, I think they're saying it goes for $5,000 for both eyes.
Jesus.
Mhm. And yeah, a lot of umpires and refs are coming in and getting free surgery. And the fans can also nominate a referee for surgery on LASIK.com.
Oh,
Yeah, like it's funny, but it gets like, first of all, this is fire for LASIK because this gets, you know, more people involved on their social media.
that's
Because in the article they talked about, you know, how they only got like 9,000 followers or something on like IG and Twitter, but because of this like ongoing trolling thing they got going on, more people have been interacting with their page and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, the LASIK team says they get tagged about 5 to 10 times per day on social media by individuals pointing out bad calls, and that's a figure that has steadily grown over the past year.
I like that.
Um, but yeah, they're thinking about getting more into like promotions, pay promotions, and advertising and NIL because of of what's been happening. So this is a great opportunity for LASIK.
Yeah,
But this shit was mad funny. I was like, oh no, like not y'all saying I need to go get your eyes done.
yeah. See, that's another that I like this marketing
Me
campaign.
too, me too, me too. So shouts to LASIK. But that is hilarious. And they're like retweeting like controversial calls and clips and
Yeah,
tagging LASIK.
they should. I like that.
I do too.
Whew. Lord knows we got a history with terrible calls.
Yo, imagine the refs that did Clockgate. You need to tag them to get LASIK.
Yeah, LASIK, go get them. Look them up. Hook them up, please. Jesus.
Um, Also moving on, we got Round Ball Rock. I don't know if you got that video queued up, but
Nah.
that commercial is fire. So, during the Kentucky Derby that happened yesterday, um, there was an announcement that the NBA will be returning to the NBC. So, like, the song that all of us be singing, like, it's officially back. NBA on NBC is officially back because the song is back. And I never knew the name of the song until today. Round Ball Rock. That is the name of the song.
Oh, I got it.
Um,
I can get it right now. Hold on.
yeah, I just thought it was a cool like commercial.
Let's get it.
It's fire.
Here we go.
It is the best song.
All right, let's see.
Bum, bum.
Bum, 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 bum,
Dun, 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 dun.
bum, bum.
Ba, 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 ba. Dun, 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 dun. Ba, 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 basketball. Da, 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 da.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hey, hey, hey.
This fall, the NBA is coming home to NBC and streaming on Peacock.
John Test still got it.
That was
Tough. Tough. Like, so yeah. I just wanted to let y'all know, like, the NBC will be covering the NBA, both regular season and the NBA playoffs, and it's also going to be streaming on Peacock. So that's fire.
Did he
Fire.
know he was about to create the greatest? Like,
I don't know.
Did he know?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Like, did he know? That is a classic.
Yeah,
Like Spendock said, the best song.
yeah. That was
So
fine.
I was excited to see that. Yeah. So, dang, we still on NIL news. Thank y'all for continuing to tap in with us.
Yeah. Thank
During this time, make sure that you're following us. Tell
everywhere.
a friend to tell a friend. Every Sunday we covering business and sports and women's basketball and NIL news. So we are now entering NIL news.
Aw,
Transfer portal updates. Kiyomi McMiller. All right. She is transferring from Rutgers, going to Penn State. I mean,
yeah. Jeez.
dun, 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 dun.
Look.
Yeah, exactly. I just started.
Yeah, it's a lot going on over there at Rutgers. A lot. I just seen today also Lisa Thompson is going to Missouri. She transferred, so it's up.
It is up. Wishing Kiyomi the best. Read an article. She's, diving into why she went to Rutgers, why she chose Rutgers, why she left Rutgers, and why she chose Penn State. And but so many words, and this is not a quote. You should go read the article. But what I gathered from it was she wanted to win. She's a winner. And those around her were not. And sometimes she came off as very intense. And a lot of people took that the wrong way. And so now she chose to go to Penn State because she already had a relationship with the coach. She had a good relationship with the coach. And they, according to her, have a winning attitude. And she's also able to be herself. That's something that she really harped on a lot throughout the article, about being her authentic self and showcasing who she is. And it seems like she thinks that Penn State is going to be the place for her to do that. So I do wish her well. Um, saw people talking about her, announcing it on the New York Stock Exchange. That was interesting. And I have my own thoughts and opinions about her team. Um, I don't necessarily like the moves that they've been making even before that announcement. But all I will say is that it is important to vet people before you decide to work with them and or hire them. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. Um,
Yeah.
just because people have a big name doesn't mean that
They'll do the best job.
or that they're an expert in what you need an expert in.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes at Penn State. Hopefully, it goes well for her. We talked about Malaysia. She's going to LSU. What I thought was interesting is Kim Mulkey during the interview said that Malaysia never went on an official visit, and she said she only spoke to Malaysia and her mom one time. I just thought that was interesting, so I just wanted to bring that to anybody's attention if you didn't hear the interview. Um, but wishing Malaysia well. But she is heading toward LSU. I mean, she will be heading or going to LSU.
They said
Uh,
that she was the 3-on-3 national women's basketball most valuable player.
yes,
So I
I
guess
gotta watch.
she won.
Yeah, I
Okay.
gotta watch. Neepkins, she's transferring from Utah to UCLA. That's a big pickup from UCLA. Don't think a lot of people had her going to UCLA on their bingo card.
Yeah.
But that's a big pickup. And then with Lauren Betts, and then Lauren Betts' sister.
Mm-hmm. Kiki.
Yeah. So I think that that's a good pickup for them.
Yeah, Kiki.
Ocott, Mississippi State to South Carolina. I still need to watch her game for real.
Yeah.
Um, Garzone, she's heading to Maryland from Indiana. That's a big pickup for Brenda Freeze. And then Janiyah Barker from UCLA to Tennessee. So there's a lot of players still in the portal. The portal's now closed.
Yeah.
I would love for more people to cover, because I don't know how, I don't know, but cover like, I want to know what conversations are being had now that the portal is closed. And, for those kids that are still, or those young players that are still sitting in there,
Right.
like what conversations are they having with coaches now? You know?
Yeah. It's kind of cray to be sitting in that portal waiting. I know
It is.
the anxiety is a lot, but whew, that's the risk you take. I mean,
That is the risk you take. So we'll have to see where people end up, and we'll keep you posted. Want to give a nasty award to a travel agent
oh
who
yeah,
scammed George Mason men's basketball, and also that's not the only team he has scammed.
Jesus,
He has scammed Reinhardt University in Georgia as well, um, and Georgia Gwinnett College. So he has scammed two other schools as well. But long story less long, the George Mason men's basketball team was supposed to be going, I believe, to the Bahamas to play. And they hired a company to assist them in booking and scheduling everything from travel to, hotels, all that stuff. So they hired the company. Um, and then one of the employees, who I think is a manager, reached out to the scammer His last name is Smith, Maurice Smith. That's the scammer. So they reach out to Maurice Smith, and they're like, "Hey, we have this team, George Mason. They're looking to book the Bahamas from this time to this time. Can you set everything up?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." He goes back to George Mason men's basketball team and their operations team, and he lets them know that the whole entire trip is going to cost around $150,000.
Mm.
So they pay him that money. He never books anything. He never books anything. He takes that money and he uses part of the money to pay for personal trips to Mexico and Panama City, in addition to using $12,000 in ATM withdrawals. He also paid to reimburse previous victims,
Mm.
which is the structure of a Ponzi scheme.
People don't be doing right, dog.
You really got to do your due diligence. Money is flying everywhere
Yeah.
in college sports. And the fact that he did this already 2 times is crazy.
Yeah.
His crimes took place over a 3-year span from 2022 to 2024. So he's pled guilty to a single count of wire fraud. He's agreed to pay $250,000 in fines in addition to full restitution to George Mason, in exchange for federal prosecutors recommending a reduced sentencing for Smith, who could have served as many as 20 years behind bars if he was to be found guilty, if he were to go to trial. So just want to give a nasty award to him. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
But, we talked about Otani. This is happening a lot.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is we're going through real economic hardship right now. Since COVID started. And it's not going to slow down. So the scams, and I know y'all all getting the text messages
Yeah.
from scammers, from spam, you getting calls. It's only going to continue to increase because people are desperate. So we report on these things to also remind people, you got to be diligent. You got to be diligent. You have to do your due diligence on the people that you work with or interact with, because it's up for everybody. That's the truth of the matter. It's up for everybody.
It's
You just scammed a university.
right.
A university?
Yeah.
Yo, that's bold. So
Insane.
and yes, you're right, Spendoc. He's right.
He is right. They got a lot of climbing to do.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes though. Last thing in NIL, well, it's not the last thing, but one of the last things in NIL news, we've been talking a lot about GMs, how a lot of universities are now placing previous or current professional athletes in roles as general managers at universities to either bring more money to them or notoriety. And so we got Shaquille O'Neal being the most recent name being mentioned as a basketball general manager, but he's going to be heading to Sacramento State, and his son is actually going to be heading there as well, which is probably part of why he also chose to do it. I mean, he's not going to be getting paid, allegedly.
Right.
He's allegedly not going to be getting paid. Like I said, his son will be playing for Sacramento State, and then also, if y'all don't know, Mike Bibby is also going to be the new head coach over at Sacramento State. So yeah, according to Sacramento State and the president, they were just really aggressive in trying to get to land Shaquille O'Neal in this spot, in this role. I'm pretty sure they needed him there, wanted him there for NIL purposes and to garner more cash flow
Yeah.
for their school. So again, we're keeping track of all the GMs that are being hired in these new roles on the collegiate level, and we'll continue to update y'all as more of these roles continue to be filled. Want to give a shout out to Darius Acuff, who participated in the Iverson Classic this weekend. Um, he will be heading to Arkansas, but he signed a deal with Reebok. And I thought it was fire because he kind of gives AI in the photo right here. Reebok is being spearheaded by Shaq and Allen Iverson on the investment part, and Darius is in good company. He's going to be with Angel Reese, obviously Shaquille O'Neal, Allen Iverson, um, and other players on the Reebok roster. So just another addition I see, and just wanted to give a shout out to Reebok because they get into it too.
Yeah,
And shouts to Darius.
that's fine. I mean, getting a shoe deal and going into college is crazy.
That is crazy. That's a big deal. We talk about this all the time, but I feel like because it happens so often now, like it's watered down, but
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
right. Like you signed to a sneaker company in college? What? That's insane. That's insane. Like don't take that too lightly, y'all. That's a big accomplishment. Like there's dudes in the NBA that don't even have sneaker deals or signed to a sneaker company. So
Right.
NIL.
We're going to do a further breakdown on NIL in the near future, just about how it's really affecting players and coaches and teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, we do not have any tech news tonight, but on the side of culture, Brittany and I had the opportunity to go watch Sinners together. Brittany actually came to visit, and we went to the movies and we saw Sinners. And I'll let Brittany start because this is more her realm because she loves movies. So
Oh man. It was you know what? I'm actually very happy we went to AMC Magic Johnson Theater because like it was blackety black in there. Okay, like like I don't know how many times Chantee done hit my shoulder while we was in there because I was kind of loud. Okay, I'm not. I'm one of
you
those.
wasn't alone because it's crazy because you was loud and then the lady next to me. I don't know if you heard her. She also was loud. She was saying funny stuff next to me. So it was both of y'all, and I just happened to be in the middle.
I know that at one point during the movie, me and her looked at each other because somebody had a flash on, and somebody flashed on, and I looked to, and she looked at me, and she was like,
Yeah, y'all both was on timing. Like I just was in the middle. Like
but this movie, it was an excellent movie to me. Symbolism, the themes, like I don't want to give no spoilers or nothing away, but I really enjoyed Sinners as an original film. And I only seen it in standard version. We seen it in a standard version. I wanted to see it in IMAX also for my second time because I definitely am gonna see this again. It was that good, and it just there's so many things to unpack. So like you have to see it again. I mean, it reminds me of like when I went to go see Get Out, and I was just in the movie theaters like, they actually let this movie come out? Like, seriously? Like, that's how I was because you know how they be hating on our stories. Like, they never want to tell our stories correctly. So the fact that I've learned so much about Ryan Coogler just because of Sinners, it just makes me very happy to anticipate what he's going to continue to do for his career because he's still very early in his career, even though he's given us great bodies of work. Like his body of work is already really, really good. I learned that him and his wife, Zinzi Kugler, have their own production company called Proximity Media, that they work together heavily. They work together like a lot, which is often not portrayed. Like married couples working together, they rarely ever show that. But um, I love how he always puts his wife first. Like you see it like when you watch these interviews and stuff like that, and how he talks about her. They've been together since like high school, I believe. So it's a real thing. It's a real connection. Okay. Ryan was also a D1 athlete. We have a clip talking about how he used to play with Matt Barnes' younger brother. So it so many synchronicities. Like he just talks about how, he's on. Yeah, yeah. There's no such thing as standing on. That's a fact. That's a fact. I definitely I gotta go see it again in IMAX. Okay, I really want to see it because it was that good. I was screaming at the screen the entire time. I was crying. If anybody knows me, I'm emotional when it comes to movies. So there were certain parts I was crying. Um, just catharsis. Like he pulled the emotions out of me for this film, and if even it to be like a sci-fi film, like it's in that genre of just you know horror and and all of that, like that. I just loved how they put it together. Like it was really a great movie. I encourage everybody to go see it so we can all talk about it. Because at some point, I think I'm gonna do a review. Because
Yeah, it was good.
yeah,
I really enjoyed it too. I appreciated the dynamics. I know I'm glad neither one of us like watched breakdowns before we went to see the movie. I
right.
legit avoided
Mm-hmm.
seeing any of that
Right.
because I wanted to form my own opinion, and it really was a good film. I like the opposite dynamics, if that makes sense. So like dark versus light, and
Mm-hmm.
evil versus good, and all those things were like on full display. And I think the acting was really well. Like the actors did a great job.
I'm gonna say this. I'm tired to cut you off, but
Mm-mm.
somebody's went and winning supporting actress, actor, somebody from this movie because, woo, baby, the performance Delroy Lindo put on, like that
Yeah,
was my favorite performance. Him in that
he
movie.
did great. Yeah, he did everybody did a really good job. And um I will say that when it comes to Michael B. Jordan, I said that like before, like I was just like, I don't know. Like I don't know what he's about to give. This is before the movie. What I will say is after seeing it, he
Mm-hmm.
did a great job. More than a great job.
Yeah.
Um so no, it was a good movie. I love that it's like stirring a lot of conversation. Um
Yeah.
and a lot of thought. Like people putting thought into like just the things that the movie showed. So yeah, no, it was a good film. I will say that. I enjoyed it. I'm glad we got to see it. The numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And it also shows how when we really want to support something, we really can support something. And
Right.
I would hope that we do that a lot more often with other things.
Facts.
That's all that shows. Like,
Right. With more important things.
yeah,
Like, come on.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was overall a great film. So make sure you see it if you can see it. If it's not, I'm pretty sure it's sold out everywhere because they released it for a short period of time. But if you can see it, make sure that you do. And
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, y'all.
I didn't realize it was 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it went by fast. It went
It
by.
did. Thank y'all for tapping in with us.
That's a fact. Thank y'all for being here. We really appreciate your eyes and your time. So if you could just do us one favor and hit that follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit some type of button to stay connected with us. That would be really great. We really
We're gonna
trying.
be following. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna be covering the WNBA games. So
Mhm.
make sure that you tapped in with us for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we got on the horizon. Honestly, going to these games and covering on the side of media. So make sure that you're following us on all social media platforms. We should be back next week. But you know it gets weird when it gets springtime, summertime. So
Yeah.
thank y'all again for tapping in with us, and we'll see y'all next time.
We'll see y'all soon.
Have a good week. Peace.
Peace to my people on Instagram. Peace.